Hello, guys. Welcome to this space where we dive routinely into the minds of those shaping the future of technology and entrepreneurship. Today, I'm very thrilled to have Abdelhadi, the innovative mind behind Heycloud.ai and the founder of Packet.ai, joining me for a fireside chat. Abdulhadi, his journey in AI and technology is nothing short of inspiring, and I can't wait to explore his insights, experiences, and the vision driving his projects. So let's get started. Hadi, could you please take us back to where your journey with AI began? What was that initial spark that drew you into AI and led you down the path to founding these companies?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first significant encounter with AI was back in 2013, 2014, when I did my first internship. It was an internship with Google. It's called GSOC. So it's Google Summer of Code. And the idea there is they fund an open source project and you work with that open source project for Google, basically. And they are still doing it every year with students. I was a student in college back then. So I did this, and the project was with OWASP, which is the open source organization for. I have no idea what the acronym is exactly, but it's very famous organization. They do a lot of open source. They have famous products like Zap Proxy and the top 10 Zap something. Anyways, so I worked with them on this Zap Proxy project where I created like a little part which scans remote apps on the web and tells you if they have vulnerabilities, like security vulnerabilities. And to do so, we used like a bunch of machine learning techniques, etc. So this was really the first significant encounter and working with AI per se. And shortly afterwards, after my engineering school, I did a PhD in computer science. So my PhD was mainly about using AI for networks and infrastructures. So the idea of my PhD was mainly just to give you like a background on the project because I think it's interesting. So today's internet is based on some protocols, like few protocols. One of them, one of the major protocols is called OSPF, which takes your queries or your packets, we call them packets on the network, on the internet,
Yeah.
takes like bits of information. This protocol takes them from source to destination, as simple as that, right? So for example, when you type something on Google, so your query will be routed between your laptop or your smartphone to the servers of Google somewhere in the world, probably in Mountain View, probably in California, whatever. And between the two, there are switches, routers, there are many hops. We call them hops. So this protocol tells exactly the query where to go, right? So it routes the query between source and destination. OSPF is very simple and it's based on Dijkstra algorithm, which is shortest path on the graph. Super
Yeah.
simple. And it works. The major problem is we predicted during my PhD that in like 5 to 10 years, we will multiply the traffic on the internet by 10, probably by 100, etc. With AI, with streaming, with VR, AR, etc. So the problem is sometimes you will face issues of congestion on the network. So what we did is instead of calculating the shortest path simply, you predict the behavior of the network in advance, and then you route your packets. For example, you say, okay, in the Paris region in France, we estimate or we predict that at 8 p.m., 90% of the population will use streaming services, for example, or so there is a heavy usage of streaming services. So what you do then is route the Wikipedia traffic or Facebook traffic on different path, right? You don't go with streaming because it's already congested, it's already overused. You go somewhere else. So you have better performance for your routing. So that was my roughly my PhD work.
Awesome.
Did it in collaboration with Huawei and Orange, etc. Anyways, so that was my I would say one of the biggest AI projects I participated in.
Beautiful. Awesome. And just for the interest of the viewers, I am based in Sydney, Australia, and I presume you are based in Paris, France.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, so we are oceans apart, but with the marvel of technology.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, true. So,
It's
what
still
was the?
OSPF. Actually. It's
I,
still OSPF. Our routing between us. It's crazy.
I yeah, I know, right? So, and there is no lag. Maybe they are using
Yeah,
your thesis. Um,
for sure.
so, what was the college, by the way, where you studied and got that scholarship? Where was it? Was it in France?
Yeah, I finished in France. I started it in Algeria. So I'm originally from Algeria, which
Right.
is North Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
I was born there, raised there, and then I moved to France to finish my studies.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I'm studying in Paris. Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. Great soccer team from Algeria, by the way. I
yeah,
saw,
it's good.
saw them in the World Cup and they were amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So, one of your recent venture is Heycloud, and that is how we met. And I also did a video on Heycloud. So, if I would highly suggest people to search it on the channel. I will also drop the link in video's description. Watch that video. Heycloud is amazing product, and that is how I came across Hadi and really became a big fan. So, Hadi, Heycloud is a fascinating venture, and I have gone through it. I have played around with it. Amazing stuff. Can you please tell us more about its mission and how it stands out in the crowded space of AI platforms?
yeah, absolutely. So the I think the first the idea there is really to build something for myself first. I noticed I struggle a lot with commands to do stuff on AWS. It's like I think I'm quite experienced with AWS to be honest, and GCP as well. But still, I forget a lot of commands, and I forget how to do things because okay, you create an EKS cluster, for example, you deploy your things, it's working, and then in 2 weeks or 3 weeks you will add or you would want to add things or change the configuration, etc. You already forgot
Oh,
what you did exactly, right? And then you spend like hours checking what you did and then the configuration files. Probably you use some Terraform, etc. So you go back, read it, and then try to deploy again, and then you modify it, etc. It takes time. And sometimes it takes me time even to know things that are running in my AWS cluster or infrastructure in general. If it's big, like sometimes you get lost, to be honest, between all the services they have, like 200 or whatever.
yeah,
Um, services on there. So sometimes you just create things on some service and you forget completely about them, and you are paying for them. You don't see them, you don't use them, etc. They are there. It's very hard to use the Cost Explorer on AWS to see everything. It's like you need to be trained to use that Cost
yeah.
Explorer. It's not for
Tell
everyone.
me about it. Yeah.
So this is like my pain point, right? And then I noticed like a lot of people in my previous company, which was called Packet AI. We sold to a lot of people who used AWS. I noticed they have a lot of similarity or similar pain points as well, right? So and now with the release of ChatGPT, so a lot of people, a lot of DevOps teams, SREs, developers are using ChatGPT to help them with AWS and GCP and infrastructure in general, or DevOps work in
Yeah.
general, right? The problem there, again, is that you need with ChatGPT, you need to give it the context every time.
Yeah.
But then if your context is so long, you are too lazy to type it every time. You
Correct. Yeah.
cannot say, okay, I have 24 EC2 instances. This one is doing that and blah blah blah, and I
Yeah.
have 13 users. What I want is how to make this user admin of this bunch of EC2 instances, but not the other bunch. Right? It's too much of context to type in every time. And also, since ChatGPT is not like by default plugged into the documentation of AWS, probably it's lagging behind like a few months or whatever, you know. So it does not consistently give you good answers. So the idea of Heycloud is to simply build integrations with AWS. So you come
Cool.
in, you plug your infrastructure, your account to Heycloud, and you just start chatting with it. You say, hey, what was the last action from this user? or or generate a report, security report for me, right? Based on what you see in my data, or why am I spending this amount per month, right? So it just gives you explanations.
Awesome, beautiful. How did you come up with this name, Heycloud?
Before this, I created this other tool called Heycloud.ai. Uh, people should check it. It's very cool. So the idea of Heycloud.ai is exactly the same, but for the command line. Like
Nice.
I tend to forget a lot the commands of Linux, and I use them very often. But sometimes I just forget the parameters if they are long, etc. Hey CLA, same. You just subscribe and you install it in your terminal, and then you just chat in the terminal. You say, "Hey, how can I sort this folder by name?" For example, "Hey, does this folder contain a file with this name?" Or "Hey, how can I deploy GCP cluster or GK cluster?" Right. Uh, so yeah, it was natural to say, to name the other
That's
one Hey.
yeah, that's nice. You got it easy because I was interviewing a couple of other founders and they said that building a product was hard, but coming up with a name for it was even harder. So it's I can imagine that. So look, entrepreneurship looks very catchy, very sexy, it's very cool. Everyone wants to do a startup, but the reality is that it is really fraught with hurdles and learning curves. Could you share some of the significant challenges you have faced while building this Hey Cloud and any other venture, and what lessons you have learned along the way?
Yeah, so Heycloud is fairly recent, so it's been around for 3 months now. We started working on the product like 3 months ago. But my more significant entrepreneurship journey, I would say, was with the Packet AI. Huh, yeah, hurdles and difficulties. I think, to be honest, I think everything is difficult about entrepreneurship. Um, so the idea there is that you are trying to change how the world works, really.
Yeah,
When you create something from nothing, you just you are trying to really make a dent in the world. Probably it's too tiny, probably it's big, it depends. But you are really trying to change something,
yeah, and change
and
is
it's
hard.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, change is hard. Like you need to change how people use the technology, how people do things. Right. For
true,
example, for us, the hardest thing was really to sell the product.
sure.
We we raised VC money in my previous company, and then when you raise, you cannot go slow. When you raise money, you are supposed to double the valuation or triple or whatever every 18 months or something, right?
Yeah,
That's the that's the VC approach. It was very very hard for us to convince like large companies, banks, etc., to adopt our product. And sometimes you are you just think this does not work.
yeah,
Do you get very frustrated about things not working, but you need to just keep pushing.
yeah. That's good to know. Just on that related note, so how do you manage that frustration, desperation, those tense, anxious time? Do you meditate? What do you do?
I try. I tried a few times to meditate, but haven't really stuck with me so far. Um, One of the things, yeah, recently I tweeted something about this. I said I attribute my sanity to sleeping 8 hours every day. Like really, because with everything that we went through with Packet AI and everything, it's like it's very hard to stay sane and normal. You can go crazy like very easily. So I think one of the good things I did and always did actually, even in college during my PhD, I never worked during nighttime. So I always prioritize sleep, and also I religiously go to the gym basically every week at least once. I think that helps a lot to stay just
Awesome.
simple.
Makes sense. Cool. Um, One thing with this all generative AI and new AI era is
Yeah.
that everything is so exciting, no, so new. But here in Sydney, Australia, where I'm based, and all across Australia, the biggest concern, fear I am noticing and people are talking about is the impending job loss due to the AI. So, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that mass job loss would happen due to the AI, and what would we do about it? What do you think?
Um, I really wish it was otherwise, but I think that's correct. Um, I think we are seeing it already. I don't think all layoffs in big companies are due to economic uh, situation, etc., and like high interest rates and the difficult times. I don't think so. I think a lot of it is due to what they are seeing in AI and capabilities, etc. Will we see more? I'm not an expert, right? But most experts are saying yes, probably
Yeah,
yes. We will see more layoffs. We will see more job replacement, etc. Why? Because this is capitalism, right? If you are if you are a head of company and you are spending lot of money on salaries on people, and then you notice, okay, I can do this actually with cheap AI because uh, you cannot do jobs with AI today. You can
yeah,
do tasks, right? But what the capitalists or founders or CEOs are thinking is, okay, these tasks can be done with AI, right? So I can take those people and pull them together to do other tasks that I cannot do with AI, and
yeah,
then I replace a bunch. So this is how they are thinking. It's unfortunate, but I think it's been the same thing over and over again over history. I think it's
true.
just repeating itself.
Yeah. So, is there anything we could do? I mean, okay, we can upskill, but what should we learn to make ourselves a bit more resilient in the face of this upcoming onslaught?
My advice is again, I tweeted, I think, about this the other day because I keep thinking about this all the time. I think it's huge discussion on Twitter and social
Yeah,
media in general. Uh, my thinking there is uh, probably I will address again. I'm not an expert on these questions at all. It's just I have my
yeah,
opinions, but I haven't done studies, rigorous studies, etc. On this. So my opinion there is, if you are a software engineer, for example, I'll start there. If you are a software engineer, I think focus on the things that are not obvious or that are difficult for the AI to do today. My first advice is try to do end-to-end things. Okay, as a software engineer, your job is to create value for your boss or for your company or for your group or for your department, right? This is your job. But I would really highly encourage you to go even more. Like try to do side projects. Try to create value to the end user,
yeah,
right? Try to build something for the end user while you are working for your company and see. Probably you will like it more, probably you will succeed in it. And if you succeed, you will not need that job because you will create value to the end user directly with the use of AI. So you don't wait till your department say, okay, we can use AI for this and that. So we are laying off a bunch of people. No, just try now to try to build things for the end user. And then you won't need your department or company at all. Like you will create things with the help of AI for the end user, right?
yeah,
This is
yeah,
my biggest advice to software engineers. And we need a lot of value to be created in software. A lot, like a
yeah.
lot, with or
Makes sense.
without AI. We need a lot of it.
That's very hopeful. Yeah, that's like that's good. Otherwise, people are thinking of leaving software development and maybe becoming plumber or electricians because they won't be replaced by AI anytime soon. Anyway, or maybe
Yeah.
laborers. Who knows? So, balancing work and personal life is crucial for creativity, and you also hinted on that. You also mentioned that you do go to gym, and then your superpower sort of thing is sleeping. What any other hobbies or activities outside of this tech world that help you relax and find balance?
Uh, I used to play a lot of tennis, but not these months because it's cold and rainy all the time here in Paris. It's very hard. So I try to play tennis once or twice a week, go to the gym at least once a week.
Yeah,
That helps a
yeah,
lot. Um, it's I think I like it because it's all it is also that it's the time where I am alone with my thinking, you know. Uh, Maybe I'm doing meditation without calling it meditation, but I make it a point that I stay alone for a couple hours every week for sure.
makes
Just
sense.
walk around, take a very long walk for 1, 2 hours, just myself, without music, without cell phone, without anything, just walk. I think that helps me a lot. Other activities is just basically just go and see your friends. That's very important.
Okay,
Um, yeah, the more I get old, the more I notice one thing which is interesting as well. I think my happiness personally is correlated strongly with how far I live from my friends. Every time
okay,
I'm super far away, which leads to me seeing them only once a week, for example, that's not that's not that's not perfect for me, at least. I always like it like when I'm in walking distance from my friends, so I can see them every day or every
well,
2 days, for example. That's very, very important for me, at least for me. Like I see them in person, not via phone or whatever. I think that has been major discovery or just insight.
no, that's good.
It makes me very
That's good to know. I mean, that is very insightful. I mean, in this age where everyone is so digital, social media and all that stuff, this human touch is very important. I think we should
happy.
never forget that. So looking ahead, what are your long-term ambition for both yourself and for Hey Cloud, and how do you plan to achieve those goals?
Yeah. So for uh, my long-term ambition for Heycloud is Heycloud, we are starting with AWS because this is where I noticed like the people I can serve immediately, they have major pain points there, right, in AWS. But the idea is to expand very quickly, to go to GCP, Azure, support many other DevOps tools like Kubernetes directly, and support like monitoring systems like Grafana, Datadog, New Relic, etc. So the idea there is to build really DevOps assistant, right? An AI DevOps
Got
copilot,
it.
where you come to Hey Cloud, you say, okay, I have an expansion in my business, so uh, how can I scale my infrastructure? It will tell you, okay, you can do this and that, and then you just implement via chat. Say, okay, please create a GCP service for this and store the data in S3 because I have constraint on my users requirement, etc. And then please expand Datadog integrations to integrate with this part, etc. And tell me if there is any issue, blah, blah, blah. And you can even analyze logs and metrics on Heycloud. You can say, okay, Kafka went down last night. What's the reason? And it will just tell you the reason because it has access to all the logs from your Datadog. It has all the alerts, etc. And it will tell you this is why Datadog did not catch the incident as well. Right?
That's quite an
So that's
interesting thing. Yeah, that's
yeah.
very
So
interesting.
this is the idea for Hey Cloud. For myself, I don't know. It's really hard to project and to predict what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm quite having fun with these projects, to be honest. This is like another advice that I did not mention before to software engineers, especially. I cannot talk to the others because I have no idea about the other professions, etc. But for software engineers, my first advice, as I said, try not, I wouldn't call it entrepreneurship, but try to provide value to the end user directly. Try it, like build something and share it as soon as possible. And you will see it's not that hard to start, and you will learn a lot. And you will learn how like your company works, your department, what they think, etc. The second advice, major advice, is learn everything you can about AI. Like this is how you can outsmart it and you can do better things with it,
Yeah,
right? you will 10x your skills. Like learn as soon as possible everything you can with AI by trying, right? And don't be in the group of people saying, "Oh, it does not work. It will take time for it to replace me. It's not interesting. It's hallucinating. It makes mistakes, etc." It makes mistakes today. In 5 years, probably not. So
Yeah,
learn it today. So in 5 years, you will be ahead. Right? This is another advice. So yeah, for me, I'm trying to learn everything I can.
beautiful.
Just play with.
Makes sense. So that was actually my last question about the advice, but you already have covered it. So finally, where people can find you if they want to reach out to you, how should they find you?
Sure, I'm on. I think the easiest is Twitter.
Yeah,
My messages are open, obviously, and I'm pretty active there. I spend a lot of time on Twitter.
okay.
I reply to all messages, and yeah, I think
And
this
what's
is
your
the best place.
handle on Twitter?
It's Hadi Azzouni. It's Hadiazzouni.
Yeah, I will also drop it in the video's description
Yeah,
for the people. But Hadi, thank you so much. Much appreciated your time. I know it's early in the morning in Paris, but thoroughly enjoyed. I could go on, but maybe we'll have another session. So thank you
absolutely.
very much, and best of luck with Heycloud. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Thanks. Take care.